Hey folks, this is Kalani. I want to show you something interesting to do with professions. Now, first thing, which I'm not going to touch on a great deal, is that we don't seem to have any trainers for professions. Which means you need to get your hands on these scrolls to get up to Draenor Master and level 700 in your profession. Now, first thing, note that that's 700 and not 675, so we're getting a full 100 points on top of what we currently have. But also note that I'm one of 700. You can learn these scrolls to get up to 700 from basically freshly picking up your profession, which is kind of crazy. But to add to that, all of the professions have baked in catch-up mechanics. So I can use Draenor recipes and I can use Draenor materials to level from 1 to 600 and then continue through as you would in a usual expansion. So you basically would never have to get any old world materials ever again for any of your professions, which is kind of ridiculous. And it even splits them into Draenor and Old World or Antique. So this is pretty baseline through all of the professions. I've currently tried this with jewel crafting, tailoring, it works with blacksmithing, and pretty much everything else. The only ones which don't seem to have this mechanic are the ones which flat out don't work right now, and then the ones which obviously haven't had any attention put into them. So if it's not a catch-up mechanic currently in-game, there's actually no recipes there at all. So I'm assuming it's going to be baseline across the entirety of the game, which is pretty cool. It also includes your secondaries. So you can fish, may as well mention that very quickly. You can fish in Draenor and it will treat it exactly the way that herbs and ores are currently in Mr. Pandaria. So you get small fish and then you basically gather up 20 and gut them, apparently, and then you get the bigger fish, or the meat used in cooking, and all that good stuff. And then for cooking itself, you can use said fish meat right from the get-go, right from one. So that's got the catch-up mechanic, and then first aid is kind of interesting because you use fish and fur. Which is interesting, but as a very quick note, all of the professions in Draenor seem to be really strange, in that tailoring uses both skinning materials and the cloth that you gather, alchemy uses both herbs and ore, and it kind of goes through like that. It's almost like they want you to have two gathering professions, but I don't fully understand how that's going to work out, but I guess we'll see. The main point is that you don't necessarily have to have your profession at 600 ready to go for Warlords. Although I imagine at the start the materials are actually going to be very expensive, as they usually are at the start of an expansion, so it'll probably be a lot easier and a lot cheaper later down the line than currently leveling through the old content, if that makes sense. Although it's probably going to cost you a pretty penny as we first get into Warlords. That was interesting. So, that's what I wanted to show you. Catch-up mechanics through all of the professions. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.